All right, good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. We're going to go ahead and get started here. Again, we are fairly light on the calendar. Really not too much is going on. Let's go ahead and throw on our price flop. Not too much has changed in the overnight. We'll look at the specifics shortly.
Market open.
We have that on mute. We're eyeing those 800s for NQ. And the 5,000 or 5,500 for ES. Go ahead and get our no sharing and everything set up. And then we'll get our hmm, bigger cuts are possible with the common CPIs. There. Let's see. We'll go with this one. Yeah, Charles Kettering, one fails forward towards success. All right, we'll stick with that. Again, it's going to be fairly simple today. No real data that's already down like at 3 a.m. I'm not even sure what this is, to be honest. Not too much going on for the earnings portions. Something to look at for GameStop later on if you're interested. And then just a reminder where we are for the sector tracker. Again, it's discretionary and technology really showed out yesterday alongside financials and industrials. We really want to keep an eye on financials and healthcare and see how two and three are doing while consumer and technology is kind of finding their footing. So we'll have more information once we start. But other than that, let's just go through our typical process. Nothing special. We'll start with our, there's no real headlines to be aware of that I'm aware. No catalyst going on. We'll pull up the quote board and see how everyone is doing. We have tech leading 34 versus 30 basis points. Only one negative is still Apple. And a little bit of consumer staples. Not really too much. So fairly decent across the board. Very similar to yesterday, just not as strong. So from a quick glance, will we consider this overnight session bullish or bearish? We will see that this is possibly a continuation of a sign of strength with our higher highs and higher lows from yesterday. Continued the higher highs and higher lows. Made a new high in the overnight above the HOD from yesterday. And we're still flirting with this prior IB low from Friday from non-farmers payroll. So really not too much has changed. This is just more of a continuation, this pullback continuation for the from the RTH, which was a continuation from the overnight from Friday. So Sunday overnight into the drift up, higher highs and higher lows for Monday. And then the same thing, pullback, higher high, higher low for the overnight session for both. The NQ went under their IB low, and the ES held their IB mid from yesterday. Okay. And then just the same thing from yesterday. We're going to go ahead and throw on that non-farmers payroll area of interest. Cool. Just so we know where we are. That'll help us kind of cut out some noise. You can see we're just now digging into that zone for the NQ. The S&P 500
Block buy.
should be back into the middle of this range. Okay. Doesn't mean we can't execute inside this range. You just want to see where we are relative to Friday. Okay, and we have our 138-minute candles here. So again, this appears to be a sign of strength from the buyers. But again, we do need to remember that the buyers have the upper hand on the higher time frame, the highest time frame. The sellers have control over the intermediate. For the daily, we're still looking at control from the sellers with the 2-week balance and closing with high volume and continuation. And we're having a bit of a pullback. All this is still within this same Friday bar. The fact that the candle was so large,
Block
it's a lot
buy.
for the indices to heat up.
Block
Same
buy.
situation here. At this point, just two inside bars. So sellers still have the advantage as of right now. We'll need more information from the buyers if we're going to have the perspective, their perspective, opposed to the sellers. Volume is still white, but slightly below average. This is some effort from the sellers, really pushing it higher. Almost an 11K max delta, and we're still sitting at that max here, really forcing up here. Not too much effort from the sellers, from what we can see. And it's about neutral here on the NASDAQ. Sellers were definitely trying here. It's about on both sides
Block
beating up each
buy.
other. We're
Block
getting ready to
buy.
test that 5500s before the RTH. Definitely some nicer volume coming in before. It's a lot of passives up here. Oh, cool. Okay, cool. So again, we will consider this potentially a sign of strength. Doesn't mean that we go straight to buying, but it's just something to be aware of. We get our 30-minute candles here. This is for the NQ. Got some passive sellers already trying to come in, trying to get that filled at the 5500. Okay, so we got about 4 zones for the NQ. We'll see if we can pull about the same for S&P 500. Can I just do copy mode? So every time I do that, yeah, it's just a little annoying. Let's see. Yeah, and then about 3. Yeah, we'll do 3 for the S&P 500, and we'll leave the 4 for the NQ. We may or may not leave the non-farm payrolls
Block
drawing
buy.
there. All right, we're getting ready to test this 5,500. Okay. Got tech still pushing. Getting ready to hit this 5,500. And everyone's doing fairly well. Nothing really stands out. Technology just leading with
Block buy.
finance and discretionary. So just more of a continuation from yesterday. Yeah, so really not much has changed. All right, that's 5,500 right there.
Block buy.
You should see like a little impulse through here, I'm assuming. I'd imagine people want to liquidate, but we'll see if there's any urgency. Look at all the buying delta. Okay, so the quick summary questions. Where's the market coming from? Inside bar from the bear flag selloff. So as of right now, we're still bear flagging, especially within that same range. What is the market trying to accomplish? These sellers want to really defend the 5,500s, but not get above the 5530s. 5530s for the ES, and essentially 19,000 for the NQ. Yeah, that's pretty much the next area, the 55, these mid 20s, which was last week's epoch zone for S&P 500. And then the same case for the 900s for the NQ. So yeah, fairly simple today. Mid 20s and 900s for the NQ versus the ES. We've already created our zones. As of right now, we should still have as of right now, we should still have the buy button disabled. I'm gonna double check and make sure that's still the case. Yes. So again, we have no interest to buy as we're still within this inside bar from this Friday candle. Oh, I think I saved it, but just in case. Okay, I had to reload my drawings. But yeah, we're still inside this bar here. All right, so we got about 2.5 minutes. So again, yeah, really not too much gleaned here. We don't really have a say so. Not much has changed yesterday. We're just kind of drifting up. I would imagine we're gonna have some sort of excursion to the upside, but we just don't know. So to avoid speculation, we'll just wait and see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my timer. Okay, we're good there. All right, so again, we sat here at this 5500s. I think not too much has happened. So we got another minute. But I would imagine RTH, we're just gonna burst through here. And there are some stops here on both sides, right above these highs. So no surprise if we completely come out the gate swinging for the buyers.
Block
So
sell.
we want to see if that's going to be sustained or if we have to work our way, build up some energy before we get there. Okay. Again, we want to see how they perform off the open. 2, 1, and all right. So we looked up like a point. We'll go ahead and throw on price block. We're going to do the NQ today.
Market open. Squawk.
Again, we're listening to the NQ as of right now. Okay. Again, we do have these stops that are above us. Stops that I'm talking about here. We're already past these stops on the S&P 500. So it really shouldn't be the most resistance on the, for the buyers, shouldn't be really many sellers. We're going to see if the sellers are going to continue to be aggressive or if they're going to play this passive game. We don't know yet, but we're primarily seeing how they respond to those 5520s. And again, if the S&P 500 is able to test back into this Friday open, more in that range, that's again where the 20s are between this open on Friday and that HOD. $900s, same thing around that open. So they have about another 100 points, but they are pushing. So man, as of right now, this one candle, the low is the 48, and we're already at the 80s. So man, NQ is pushing something serious right now. Again, we are still within this non-farm payrolls area. So we just had some context.
Block
That's why it's
buy.
purple down here. It's a lot of passive sellers up here.
Block sell. Block sell.
Okay, big engulfing bar. On the 1 minute for the ES, consumed the first 3 bars.
Block buy.
And then we found our way back up in that ring. So again, there's no catalyst or anything at the moment. This is just going to be some pure price action. Really need to be aware and see who's doing what.
Block
But as of right
buy.
now, yeah, everyone. As of right now, industrials, finance sold off pretty hard at the beginning. Yeah, it seems like everyone's trying to find their footing. Even in Q is starting to sell a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get some of my notes. This second bar is getting ready to be filled. Alright, looks like we may be making this new low. NQ's testing that open. ES trying to hold on for dear life. New low for
Block
N,
sell.
new low for both. We'll give this like a negative 1.5 for ES, maybe -1 for NQ. If they're able to hold these lows. Okay. Possibly open rejection reverse. If this is a open rejection reverse, what are we rejecting? Be this midpoint for the non-farm payrolls for NQ. And the ES is just really stuck in the middle of that range. Again, we're just using non-farm payroll as that was a pretty big reference and recent. Hold on, let me just do a test with my settings. Okay.
Block buy.
So really just technology, utilities, and consumer staples are holding it together. We'll see how long that lasts. It is really quiet on the price block. Let me make sure this is still on. Okay, there it goes. I'm not listening to it. I just see the little volume. Oh man, I think I have a headache. Again, do remember we have these zones below us. So we'll see how everybody's holding their territory. Oh wow. I just saw this get up and be rejected. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good for the buyers, rather. That they're trying to hold it down. I'm pretty sure they ended the minute trying to push and got rejected.
Block buy.
Possibility we may see some more of these lows test this first overnight zone, but we'll see. Looks like they're defending it. But again, we want to see if this bullish bar stays bullish. Sorry about that. Okay, that's the 1 minute bar. Bit of engulfing on both sides. Yeah, I really don't have too much to say about this. But yeah, as of right now, potentially open rejection. We're drifting up, drift up one more, and then completely reversing back down. But we'll need a little more information. Another 3 minutes, we'll be at the halfway mark for the bracket. Anything can happen. All right, what is she? Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, still fairly light on the volume. Not really too much to say here. We want to see if we're gonna close this bracket at the lows.
Block sell.
All right, we're teetering at these lows again. Being forced down, new low. For NQ. Another minute and a half in these first 15 minutes. And right now we are directly at the top of prior day's high for NQ and for ES, which is still at the IB low from Friday. So a reference of where we coming from and where we were at last week. So I think this is just another example of balance. Seems like price is trying to find where, the majority of contracts are traded, which is like 20 points higher from the NQ. Excuse me, 20 points higher from the ES. And at the 900s for the NQ. So again, we are bullish on the, excuse me, my apologies. Again, the bulls have the advantage on the highest time frame. Sellers have
Block
it on the
buy.
intermediate. They have the momentum and the structure for the daily. But so far, the past two overnights and the past RTH has been um, shown a sign of strength and breadth across the board. The sellers are losing a little bit of their territory, and they can turn it on at any point, especially if we have some overran buyers. So at this point, we really just need to be patient. I'm sitting on hands at the moment as we are 15 minutes in, and we are at a doji for both. Lean into the bull side just a little bit for the NQ, for the ES. A little bearish, a little weak for the NQ, but a doji nonetheless. Pretty much closed the 15-minute bracket where we opened. So it's a coin flip, but we do have some zones below us for the buyers that they can possibly use. And the sellers have until the 20s. So we'll
Block
pretty much
sell.
just wait. In the event that we break these lows, again, not the best case for sellers. I'm not too eager to get ahead of this, as the buyer's been doing a fairly good job, but they're still below their. They're still in the middle of this knock on payrolls candle. So you can kind of say what you want to about that. Again, looking at these daily candles here and here. Just want to make sure that we don't chop ourselves up.
Block buy.
Looks like it's getting ready to possibly burst out of here. I mean, still everybody's still fairly green. Really not too much that we're seeing here. All right, I'm gonna get back to my notes. I'm not sweating this. Sellers don't have the best positioning on NQ. You can see that down here. Same situation for the ES. Yeah, if I'm a seller, I'm looking to sell more higher prices up here in these 20s. And we've already hit lows multiple times for the RTH. We're still stuck within this non-farm payrolls candle, trading at the top of the IB high. Any kind of pullback would be into the prior day's range, which we have sellers stuck from Friday and sellers stuck from yesterday. So I mean, at this point, it'll definitely be a fight for sellers to have the best positioning uh, over the past day or so, though they may have the territory for the past weeks, past month or so. That's not the case of what's been happening Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the Monday night over session into today as well. So it's kind of even. Those sellers may have more control, and we may end up red or just an ugly green candle day. You can't just jump in and sell at any time. But we are getting ready to push these lows again. I'll still put us at that -1. Threatening these lows. So we're at that 10-minute mark. We got 10 more
Block
minutes left.
buy.
And again, if there is some sort of excursion here
Block sell.
to the downside,
Block
buyers
sell.
have some room for them to actually give up. They have some decent territory. And the little bit of action that we do have. So we wait. So yeah, we wait. Oh, sorry about that. I'm putting this on mute. I'm gonna take a little break. I'm not staring at this. Again, there's not really much for us to do, or no real information for us to glean. Nothing is happening. We're pretty much just doing this wishy-washy kind of trading. Though the sellers are doing a decent job with not allowing the buyers to make too much ground to the upside. And notice the
Block buy.
NQ can't get above these 70s. A stop above, a little bot stop above these 77s wouldn't be the worst idea. But I'm not really liking how they're both seeing them a little weak. So I'm gonna do this on a sim just for practice. Just putting the bot stop in at the 77s for
Block
NQ.
sell.
If I can get it in time. All right, I got it. Then that'll be about a 20-point stop. and at least targeting that HOD. We'll see how that will look. Getting ready to hit those 77s again. I'm just doing this on sim. This is just for testing purposes. This makes sense to me, but they're just really struggling to get above there. Just the top three, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. They're kind of just sitting sideways with Meta selling off a little bit. Tesla's doing what they can, but that typically isn't the best sign. They're really struggling to get above that midpoint. This IB mid went up, went down. Now we're stuck under. ES is just kind of coiling. Anytime we have this coiling range for the A bracket, we want to see if there is going to be an impulse from this area and then a potential pullback to that zone.
Block buy.
Those 77s are getting ready to come up. We closed that candle right before, so this might be, dang, I should probably do this on live. I feel like this would be decent. It's too late now. Yeah, look, they get up to the area and then just kind of like back off. Okay, they're trying to push from that area. Another 30 seconds or so. 20 seconds, rather. Volume point of control is moving higher for the ES.
Block buy.
Alright, so I did ended up taking that live. The fact that we ran right up to it and then stopped, pulled back a little bit, that gave me enough confidence that if we pull
Block
back,
buy.
continue to sell off, retrace that sell off for an unchanged 1 minute bar, and then bring that energy from coming back upwards, that'd be something worth putting a little risk on just for that momentum. So that ended up working out fairly decent. Again, we can see that here, same situation. We pretty much just sold once we saw that little waning pressure from the waning pressure to the upside. You know, something that we could have stayed in, but you know, given where we are right now, that was a pure just breakout, just something that we're working on. Could have stayed in, but I'm not really feeling the way we're kind of trading right now. It needs to be something that we consecutive green bars, and we really want to make a rush to those highs, especially the not stuck sellers, but we have 340 plus for the delta here near the top of this range at the 800s, and we're falling back down. You know, doesn't mean, you know, we might have a small pullback here and hit those highs. That's fine, but that's not the trade that we're going. This was strictly momentum. So I mean, as we have 2 more minutes left, this is possible open auction for NQ, and I think it's just open auction on both sides. Downward skew for ES as we're heading back into
Block
the middle
sell.
of that
Block
non-farm
sell.
payrolls area. And I really, yeah, and just open auction again for the NQ, except they're somewhat, yeah, I'm not really sure what to say about this. Look at the seller delta for ES. They're really pushing here at these lows. Again, there's some potential support below us. We're still in this non-farm payrolls range. So there's going to be a lot of interest in this level in general. And this is why we ended up getting out of that breakout trade, because again, it's strictly momentum. As soon as the momentum starts, next trade. As soon as the momentum stops, we're looking for the next trade rather. Really not too much to say. Just give me one moment, I'll be right back. I'm sure we're gonna break these lows. Actually, let me not say that. We have 30 seconds. Let me just wait. 30 seconds. We'll see what happens on the ES. But these sellers are really trying to take over here. All right, 4 seconds. Looks like they were able to defend them. We'll see how we start. Still flirting with them. And NQ was able to kind of gather themselves. They're not trading at their lows anymore. What's going on with the ES though? Finance. Mainly finance. Healthcare selling off a little bit. Yeah, just a few little selling, a little here, a little there. I really want to be right back because I need to take my break. Yeah, I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I had to handle something. What's going on? Be back at sitting sideways for the ES. Drifting a little lower, but not too much. And then the opposite for the NQ. Slightly drifting higher. Maybe finding their way down. Man, who is weighing still finance? Man, and we were looking for finance and healthcare to really be strong today, and that's not happening. If we see this low break, we may see a little bit more of an excursion to the downside.
Block sell. Block sell.
Okay, volume's trying to increase. Interesting response. Interesting response again. Yeah, I'm not finna stare at this shit. Okay, yeah, yeah. They're just doing this push and pull. Okay.
Block sell. Okay, there's a release they're looking for the ES. See if that's going to be any kind of continuation though. Full body candle close on that 1 minute and a 3 minute. Still within the non-farm payrolls range. Trading below that middle side. Hanging on to this low point for the NQ. Block sell.
Got some passive sellers trying to be filled and they cannot. Now we're getting that. Now we're getting that continuation. Yeah, people getting tired of it. Also seeing a little bit of selling for the NQ, but they're still within their range. I'm gonna turn this up now.
Block sell.
Block by. Block by. Block sell.
Very nice from the NQ. About another 10 seconds or so. So they've been holding steady this whole time. ES is back within their IB low. Rejected their VWAP though, the full session VWAP that is. Yeah, and this doesn't feel like a day where you would do the inside out trading, to be honest. Especially with NQ kind of pushing like this. But, you know, who knows? This 700 lots right here on the sell side. The NQ did not make a new higher high. So that may be a bit disappointing for people who are buying.
Block by.
Yeah, it's just still leading to that downside for this ES. We're still looking at -1, -1.5. Sellers are
Block
not really
sell.
chasing it yet. But we haven't had much continuation from the NQ, and now we're starting to get that.
Block sell.
Okay. I'm sure you can see the difference now.
Block sell.
Now we're talking like -2 or so. ES is getting into these overnight levels.
Block by.
Another 30 seconds.
Block sell. Block buy. Block sell.
And at the same time. Yeah, it may have been another decent breakout trade for the NQ, but given how sturdy they've been, got another 10 seconds, see if they have that release. They're getting kicked out of this non-farm payrolls range again. They're hanging at these lows though. We haven't had that release. That doesn't really count. Yeah, they're putting up a fight. They're kind of teetering here. All right, they should get it now.
Block sell.
Yeah. No, they're still fighting. Yeah. All right, they are not back into their IB low range yet, though. Okay, we're getting the continuation now, just a little delayed. Buyers put up a little fight. Yeah, that was a big extension from that IB mid retest for the S&P 500.
Block sell.
The hell is that? No.
Block buy.
Possible buyers here on the ES. Delta. Just looking at these sellers where they're positioned. Very good positioning from the sellers here at these hot 90s. They're able to push below. The area we were looking at with all those sellers. Once they got back to their grounds, they really pushed it harder. And now those passive buyers, if they're still in the trade, may possibly be resistance. So we're looking at like a -2.5 for ES, maybe a -1.5 for NQ. This isn't really crazy selling, not by any means, but it definitely is some selling with some volume. But yeah, I mean, this is lighter volume, and we're still at like 470,000. I mean, it really isn't the craziest thing. We're not hitting any extremes. We're barely below the IB low. We're still flirting with this non-farm payrolls low for NQ, and we're still stuck in the whole damn range for ES. We actually tipped the bottom just a little bit, and that overnight zone. At least the first one. So it's two more left for ES. ES has given up a fair amount of ground, but they had the ability to give that up. They're the ones that's red for the day.
Block sell.
I mean, yeah, I'm a little quiet today. I mean, it's really not too much. This is just like balance trading and open auction. Again, we have CPI that's coming for tomorrow. If we do have some kind of mean reversion lower, by all means, so be it. This may be like a look above those stop runs like I was talking about, and then we ended up just finding our way lower. We're not really seeing too much going on here.
Block buy.
All right, we may have like another clean break of these lows from ES. Coiling to the side and maybe like another impulse down. This is where you start to see the sellers really start to pick it up. Doesn't necessarily have to be new money sellers. Could be people getting out of their long positions with some urgency. But again, I would imagine we're going to see possibly a mirror version above, at least for the NQ. But who knows? Because as of right now, it's really ES that's leading our way down. Everyone but Tech, which is funny to see. So the same people that we want to see: industrials, finance, and healthcare. These first two are not doing the best. Discretionary is not even doing too well. Tesla gave up the. Oh, never mind. Yeah, so yeah, Tesla's doing fairly decent. So just we'll look at this column actually from the open. So down 1% for down a percent and a half, 1.8 for finance, about 1% for industrials, 62 basis points for communications, and everybody else is just kind of sitting sideways for the most part, barely even. So again, not the strongest day overall. This definitely can turn into a meltdown.
Block sell.
But it seems like we really just need a little more information. It's really not too much going on at the moment. For buyers to be taken seriously, they're gonna need to break the HOD and use the IB mid as some support. Same situation for both sides. But yeah, we can't expect too much excursion to one side or the other. Possibly. But we have a lot of sellers that are really, really stepping in. We'll see how consistent this is. Somebody's talking about crude oil. I'm just looking at crude. Good Lord. What is happening with crude? 67, 62. Jesus. What is up with crude? We'll check that in a moment. Where's crude? Damn. Bro, what? Damn, crude? Jeez. Look at this weekly for crude, man. Alright, that's enough of that. Alright,
Block
notice
buy.
these big impulses. We'll see if these are going to be sustained. But this will be prime pickings for sellers. If they're going to do more of that whack-a-mole trading.
Block buy. Block buy. Block sell. Block buy.
Okay. Got 1 more minute to close this 30-minute candle. What's this looking like? Okay.
Block buy.
That is a ugly 30-minute candle for the sellers. Oof, I
Block
mean for the
buy.
buyers
Block buy.
on the
Block
ES. Yeah, it's some urgency now. Uh-huh. Uh-huh, sellers. I may do another. I may have another buy stop here.
Block buy.
Depending on how we move. Alright, that's 30 minutes right there.
Block sell.
May have a little bit of a pullback. There's right now it's still like negative. I don't know, we're about wishy-washy on the NQ.
Block buy.
NQ is a little weaker than ES, at least for this specific bar. This 1 minute bar, that is. Yeah, that was a test at that VWAP. A test at that VWAP for the ES. Having some continuation here. Yeah, this is where you see this volume pick up. Some of this urgency comes in. And we are still trading at the highs of yesterday's range. So again, you want to take all this with a grain of salt. For the NQ, with the ES, we're at the prior ID high. My apologies. Yeah, in the event that we do burst these highs, just want to double check what we're looking at from a structure standpoint. And we're gonna run smack dab into this zone that I have, former support. Yeah, it really isn't the best place. I mean, maybe not for like a whole ass Structured trade, you may be able to get a fair amount of stops having this buy stop up here. Especially given that NQ is a little bit more of the sturdier one, but it may be a situation where we kind of pierce through, kind of dance around a little bit. I'm not sure if it's going to be a ludicrous move inch kind of situation where everybody need to get out the way. Still open auction for the NQ. Open test drive for the ES. I mean, but again, we're just in the other day's range. So yeah, I'm gonna get this maybe to the top of the hour and I'm done. Yeah, if we can get ES back above that IB low, near that IB mid, while NQ is trying to pierce the HOD, I'll be interested for this buy stop. But as of right now, I'm interested in walking away. And again, I'll be interested with that potential breakout because you'll have the momentum for both parties. That'll be inherent more collaboration across the sectors, more breadth as we push. But if we just have the technology just leading the way, we may kind of pull back as we're breaking out, which will defeat the purpose of doing a breakout trade. No different than what it was to the downside, where primarily the ES was going to the downside while technology was doing their best to hold. You didn't really see much continuation on the technology sector. Hell, we're trading at the open again. And SP 500 has one more overnight range, and we're at that overnight low. Still within this NFP for both. Yeah, I'm doing my chart right up. So ain't worried about this. Okay, this may be what we're possibly that's what we were speculating a while ago. But notice NQ has taken a little bit of a chill pill, which these two tend to do that dance. It's a possibility that we may have the ES that begins to lead. Crew down 3%. Almost 4% actually. All right, we did our little checkpoint. We'll see where we are whenever we do make a little move. Oh yeah, we started our C bracket. Still under the IB low for ES. Battling these two VWAPs. NQ's struggling at the little midpoint. Yeah, even if NQ does break these 820s, I mean, look, you break those 820s, you're looking right at these lows. I mean, yeah, this really just feels like this situation where you really just need to be patient for a sell signal. You really had your chance near these highs when they failed. This would have been an opportunity to short here as a correlation play. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, of course. But yeah, this today's action is a little jarring for myself. Jesus. Why does that keep happening? We just really keep NQ. I'm just doing my notes. All right, I'm putting this on mute. I think I'm done.
Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block by. block by, block by, Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. 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 Block by. Block cell. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block by. Block cell. Block cell.